been a while. Christmas, and then family and spending time with family, and that was good. And then probably gonna come back last week, but then I was really sick, so couldn't. But yeah, back, and it also didn't help. I was thinking about some of the video comments that had been made just before basically holidays happened, and while I was planning on continuing through, they didn't help me in wanting to continue through. And well, in some way, the comments are better now. Especially the one from, wait. Right, Lemmy 581. I don't know. Those were actually good comments. Kind of. Like, obviously, it was a bit weird that you're criticizing me for not following my own religion, despite the fact that I was following my own religion. That was weird, but it was good. That was kind of comments I want. Whereas some people kind of also, and then other people also kind of got the memo in the sense that you're supposed to actually be responding to the topic of what we're discussing, which was good. But even then, still, people keep linking me videos, and it's to look at to educate me. And I suppose the thing is, this isn't about education. This isn't supposed to be professional. This is supposed to be a discussion and a conversation. So, like, originally I said I was going to reply to most comments, but I'm really not anymore. Especially some of them, it's like, if you expect me to watch a video to understand, it's like, that's not helpful. If you're going to accuse my book of not being perfect, despite the fact that there is no world in which either one claims to be, also two, it's a good book. It's English Standard Version. It's a fairly respected translation of the Bible. It's good, and it's the one I was gifted on my confirmation. So it's my book. It's got a lot of notes and stuff and things. And it's my version of the Bible. I'm not gonna go out and buy another version of the Bible just because you think it's a bad version. That's weird. But yeah. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So everything good comments, but also not Muslim. I am Christian, meaning I do believe that Jesus is God. So, like, obviously, I am worshiping. So, in my mind, I am worshiping the Creator. I am worshiping God when I'm worshiping Jesus. So, I suppose, yeah, it's like cool writing all those things, but also at the same time, it's like I've got to disagree with you. Like, I get that you as a Muslim don't believe that, but I as a Christian do believe that, and especially since it is one of the things Jesus claimed to actually be. Which I suppose also wasn't necessarily relevant to the comments on any, on most of the videos you were posting it under, so also not so good. But yeah, just a lot of things. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to continue this, so I am going to be reading this, I'm going to finish it, and then I'm going to stop. And who knows, maybe I might be back and do it again on a different Bible verse or anything, but I don't want to continue this. It was kind of really helpful for a while. And half the helpfulness was one that no one knew about it, and now people are actually watching the videos, which is kind of good, because yay, more stuff out there about the Bible. But on the flip side, I kind of envisioned, especially the me reading this out, as a kind of bit of a book club kind of thing, where people like me could kind of discuss what was going on in the Bible and kind of going through that and wait online, because especially when I started this, I didn't really have that many good connections. Like, I definitely did, but I didn't acknowledge them as much, and I was cutting myself off, and there was a lot of different things. There was a lot of problems going on in my life, and it wasn't good. But it's nearly 2 years later, and I'm doing a lot better. So I'm going to finish this off and probably just never post again. See, I will finish Revelation, and then that will just kind of be it. I might come back one day, I might not, but just a heads up, I suppose. It's a bit of a warning. Yeah, I've recently started coming out to my family and stuff with the whole they-them stuff, which I kind of actually figured out while during this channel was going on, so, like, that's also a thing of, like, and they didn't completely hate me, which was really nice, so, and that's going well, and I'm coming out to people in my life. And so, I suppose in a way, I don't really need what I was searching for when I started this, meaning I don't as fun as this has been, I'm not going to continue. There's one, I never really found what I was searching for, and two, I no longer need what I was searching for because I found it in my own life, is the best way of putting it. So, yeah. Let's get into Revelations. The great prostitute and the beast. This is chapter 17. Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute, who is seated on the many waters, with whom the kings of earth have committed sexual immorality, and with the wine of whose sexual immorality the dwellers on earth have become drunk." And he carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast that was full of blasphemous names, and it had 7 heads and 7 horns. And the woman arrayed in the purple and scarlet, adorned with gold and jewels and pearls, holding in her hand a golden cup full of ambitions and the impurities of her sexual immorality. And on her forehead was written the name of mystery, Babylon, the great mother of prostitutes and the earth's abominations. A cup full of abominations. What did I say? Definitely wasn't abominations. I really don't know what I said. Okay, yeah, abominations. And I saw the woman. It definitely didn't have a B in it. Yikes. Anyway, I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints, the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. When I saw her, I marveled greatly. But the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her. The beast that you saw was and is not, and is about to arise from the bottomless pit and go to destruction. And the dwellers on earth whose names have not been written in the book of life from the foundation of the world will marvel to see the beast, because it was and is not and is to come. This calls of the mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are the 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. They are also the 7 kings, 5 of whom have fallen. One is, the other has not yet come, and when he does, he must remain only a little while. And as for the beast, what was and is not, it is the 8th, but it belongs to the 7, and it goes to destruction. And the 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received royal power. They are to receive authority as kings for 1 hour, together with the beast. These are of one mind, and they hand over their power and authority to the beast. They will make war on the Lamb, and the Lamb will conquer them. For he is the Lord of lords, King of kings, and those with him are called chosen and faithful. And the angel said to me, "The waters that you saw, where the prostitute is seated, are the peoples and multitudes and nations and languages. And the 10 horns that you saw, they and the beast will hate the prostitute. They will make her desolate and naked, and devour her flesh and burn her up with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to carry out his purpose by being of one mind and handing over their royal power to the beast, until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman that you saw is the great city that has dominion over the kings on earth." Okay, so that's a lot. I once read this a really long time ago. And then I remembered the name Babylon. And the next part is kind of is the first thing I think of when I think of Babylon. And I will actually keep reading on to chapter 18, the fall of Babylon. But a while ago, I also got the message that Babylon was what was the name of the city? Babylon, great mother of prostitutes and lord of nations. Was the United States of America, the USA. And honestly, I do not remember any of that. And all that makes me feel is an understanding of what is going on greater. America is Babylon, and I don't quite understand why, but I feel it to be true. But the next part is the fall of Babylon. After this, I saw another angel coming down from earth, having great authority, and the earth was made bright with his glory. And he called out with a mighty voice, Fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit, a haunt for every unclean bird, a haunt for every unclean, detestable beast. For all nations have drunk the wine of passion of her sexual immorality. The kings of earth have committed immorality with her, and the merchants of earth have grown rich from the power of her luxurious living. They're still holding up. Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you take part in her sins, lest you take part in her plagues. For her sins are heaped as high as heaven, and God has remembered her inquiries. Pay her back as she herself has paid back others. Repay her double for her deeds. Mix a double portion for her in the cup she mixed. As she glorified herself and lived in luxury, so give her the measure of torment in mourning, since in her heart she says, I sit as a queen. I am no widow. Mourning I shall never see. For this reason her plagues will come in a single day, death, mourning, famine, and she will be burned up with fire. For mighty is the Lord God who has judged her. The kings of earth who have committed sexual morality and lived in luxury with her will weep and wail over her when they see the smoke of her burning. They will stand far off and fear her torment and say, Alas, alas, you great city, you mighty city of Babylon, for in a single hour your judgment has come. America is burning. And we are sad. America will not fix itself. We are mad. And while, I suppose it's several years past when I first got the premonition of that, in some level people still see America as an ideal that it really, not only does no longer really stand for, never really stood for. Mainly the people inside it now, but the people outside of it, less so. But still, maybe it's not actually Babylon, but there are a lot of similarities in reading this. The kings of earth who have committed sexual lived with her will weep and wail over her when they see the smoke of her burning. They will stand far off in fear of her torment and say, Alas, alas, you great city, you mighty city Babylon, in a single hour your judgment has come. And the merchants of earth will weep and mourn her, since no one buys their cargo anymore. Cargo of gold, silver, jewels, pearls, fine linen, purple cloth, silk, scarlet cloth, all the kinds of scented wood, all the articles of ivory, all the articles of costly wood, bronze, iron, marble, cinnamon, spice, incense, myrrh, frankincense, wine, oil, fine flour, wheat, cattle, sheep, horses, chariots, slaves, and that is human souls. And I suppose one could argue that they do not make this anymore, or have never made it, but at the same time, those are not the things that are greatest valued in this day and age. Those are listed among the most luxurious of luxuries. Not anymore. Some of them are still really luxurious and luxuries, but they're not the top and cream of the crop, and there are other things that are much more prized nowadays. And some of them are, quite frankly, illegal. But still actually happen, concerningly enough. Particularly in America. Anyway, the fruit for which your soul longed has gone from you, and all your delicacies and your splendors are lost to you and never to be found again. The merchants of these wares who gained wealth from her will stand off in fear of her torment, weeping and mourning aloud. Alas, alas, for the great city was clothed in fine linen, in purple and scarlet, adorned with gold, with jewels, with pearls, and from a single hour all that this wealth has been laid waste. All the shipmasters and seafaring men, sailors, all those whose trade is on the sea, sort of off and cried as they saw the smoke of her burning. What city was like the great city? They threw dust on their heads as they wept and mourned, crying out, Alas, alas for the great city, where all who had ships at sea grew rich by her wealth. For in a single hour she has been laid waste. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and you saints and apostles and prophets, for God has given judgment for you against her. And a mighty angel took up the stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying, "So Babylon, the great city, will be thrown down with violence, and will be found no more. And the sounds of harpists and musicians and flute players and trumpeters will be heard in you no more, and the craftsmen of every craft will be found in you no more. And the sound of mill will be heard in you no more, and the light of the lamp will shine in you no more. And the voice of the bridegroom and the bride will be heard in you no more. For your merchants were the great ones of earth, and all the nations were deceived by your sorcery. In her was found the blood of the prophets and saints and all who have been slain on earth." So yeah, you don't have to necessarily agree, but, and maybe not so anymore, but there was a time when there were great many parallels to Babylon in America, and maybe they still exist, and maybe they still exist in the set in its destruction, in its current destruction, or maybe it's not being destroyed, but I suppose that's just my take on the world, and Revelation is the one thing I can think that is actually even kind of relevant in an interpretation. America is Babylon. Whether they can change that path or not, I do not know. But they are, currently. So anyway, yeah, so probably be back here tomorrow, maybe not. And I'll try and start finishing this off. Anyway, bye!